uh, but Mo, I want to go back to the proposed replacement for Matt Gaetz as AG. It's a woman named Pam Bondi, and you described her as the Eric Holder of the Liberty U set. What do you mean by that? And could you talk a little about her career helping foreclosure mills forge documents?
Yeah, I meant that like very literally. Because she got elected in 2010. And the two big issues in her state were obviously foreclosures and opioids, because it was the peak of the whole like strip mall pain clinic
And
business.
what state is she from again?
Florida.
Okay,
Duh.
yes.
Florida.
Pandora's box of maladies afflicting the United States.
She is, yeah, she's very blonde. I mean, she just has the most wannabe Sarah Palin face. And so Eric Holder's two claims to fame are that he represented Purdue Pharma in its negotiations with West Virginia, back in like 2003. And he got the company off with like, I don't know, $500,000 or something like that for like,
what a steep penalty
one in
for
three.
addicting an entire state of people to heroin.
It was truly disgusting, and all of the documents are still sealed, I think, and like, bankruptcy courts. I mean, it's just so that cesspool that he sort of embodies that. And then, of course, under Obama, as Attorney General, he wrote this famous memo about how they really can't actually prosecute any bank CEOs because it might, scare the markets too much. And I forget what the doctrine, there was some like really Orwellian name for this doctrine. So Pam Bondi comes in and she does her part. My understanding, I remember at the time I was writing about some state reps down in Florida who were trying to do something about these pain clinics, these strip mall pain clinics, because there were hundreds of them that had just sort of risen out of nowhere overnight. And she was just rat fucking them like every step of the way. But the big thing that she did was that there was at the time an attorney general investigation into this massive document forgery scheme that undergirded the entire foreclosure crisis, because all of those loans, all of those liar loans that people took out on their houses back in 2005, 2006, none of them were actually properly documented in any way. They didn't transfer the deeds. They used this weird database called MERS, and they didn't actually sort of, transfer the paperwork properly. So they had to go back and forge and backdate everything. And there was, there were a bunch of foreclosure mills that were involved in this. And, one of them famously had this Halloween party where they all dressed up like homeless people and took pictures of themselves, and it was ultra classy.
It's a classic hobo party. We've all been there.
Right.
Everyone brings a bindle.
Right. No, I think
around
that
the
was
trash can fire.
I think that was their defense, and literally it was like, no, like it was a hobo themed party. So Pam Bondi comes in, and these these investigators, these staffers inside the AG's office were investigating these foreclosure mills, and they were about to kind of bring a case against them, and she fires them. And she basically burns their documents. She won't let them share anything that they have with this. There's this like 50 state, foreclosure investigation happening, and Kamala Harris got her name, sort of became, very high profile associated with that. Florida would have actually sort of taken all the credit, but they weren't even allowed to participate in the investigation. It was like, so that's, those are, Pam Bondi's first two things that she did in public service. And ever since then, I mean, she's deeply in bed with Scientologists. Israel, after Trump donated some money to her campaign, she dropped a pending investigation into Trump University. It's just like everything, like every possible crooked corporate lobby that you could represent in Florida, she works for them. and she's really cheap. You know, like she'll do it for like $50,000.
And so this is a replacement that you cannot say she has some good stances on antitrust or Britney Spears.
No.
This is just
or
zero.
Julian Assange.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
mean she really makes Matt Gaetz look dreamy. I gotta say, like, it's sad, but that's that. Them's the breaks. Like that's the world we're living in. She's also dumb as a rock. Like according to people who have, I was reading this like Bulwark message board, and I don't know how I ended up on that, but you know there were all these guys
To
in
see
there
my
being
post,
like,
probably.
I've done I've done events with Pam Bondi, and like, you know, she's not intelligent. She's just sort of like a very classic, like, she's not a primetime attack dog. You know, she's like a, like, you know, 2 o'clock in the afternoon kind of, you know, person you would book. So she's just like, you know, it's hard to imagine her as, you know, because you look back at somebody like a Bill Barr, who, by the way, you know, Matt Gaetz sort of blames for his own demise, and he was, I mean, he was so like bountifully evil. So it's really hard to imagine somebody like Pam Bondi like being quite like that, like that sinister. But she's really prolific. You know, I think that she'll plug away.
Yeah, like Bill Barr is like first team, like all deep state. He's like you know, LaMelo Ball or someone. Like he's from like a multi-generational deep state family. And Pam Bondi, like the first time I saw her, I was like, who the fuck is this, like the lawyer for a car wash? Like what the fuck is this? This is the attorney general of a state?
No, I know.
She had a brief stint as a registered foreign agent for Qatar.
Mhm.
So that might balance things out.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, Pam Bondi aside, like,